The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well. Welcome back. We made to another Monday. So welcome to an hour of power with the Queen. And I am so glad to be back. One more Monday, we get to educate, empower, and encourage as we motivate ourselves into another week in purpose, y'all. In purpose. I tell you, I have an amazing guest that's stopping by to share. I tell you, his journey has been amazing. I tell you, if you watch what's scrolling at the bottom of the screen, you can get a glimpse into who you're going to have an opportunity to meet on today. I tell you, I'm always excited to hear another person's journey and how they were able to capture the power that was within them. Y'all have to understand that we didn't get dropped out of the sky, but we were positioned to be overcomers by being willing vessels to educate, empower, and encourage others through our resilience. It's not by chance, but it's the power that operate within us. And I hope you are harnessing that power within you because we all have a purpose. And we're going to find out today what our guest has been doing and how he has been harnessing that power within him and how he has walked in his purpose. So welcome my guest on today. I'm going to allow him to come up and introduce himself, y'all, because y'all know me. I'm not good at introductions, and I always seem to leave something out. So who better than introducing themselves than the person themselves? So I'm going to bring my guest on in the studio and allow him to introduce himself on today. Welcome. How are you?
And we so happy. Uh, I'm as the doctor. I'm really happy and have a deep conversation about rapid self-transformation.
How are you?
I'm doing. Did you want me to expand this brand? How it come or
Wow. If you would please share with the listeners just a little bit about yourself and what this journey has been like for you.
well, I'm struggling for 30 years with finding my lifestyle, and it was to try. I was for a long time, and I got 7 degrees in West. Uh, spent $100,000 and moved to 4 countries. I was looking for spiritual guru down wrong. I didn't connect with that young, and unfortunately, I must have decided when I was young that I'm not good enough or I'm unworthy. Uh, I was measuring people up. I could not speak in front of other people. Uh, insecurities, uh, never feeling fitting. Uh, yeah. And from those patterns, I started to prove myself in every situation possible in sport, in school, but grad. I became a high achiever, became national champion in basketball, in national in 814. So that a lot of places where I be inspiration person on the side, but not I will never feel strong and powerful out. So I'm born with that being stressed, critical of me, always fault finding. I could not make it work. He didn't love me. He didn't even know how to love himself. And this was
talking away, but I was muted.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, I did want to ask you a question. On this journey, I know that you have become a 6 star in business. So, what are some of the key principles and practices that you believe contributed to you creating this 6 star experience?
Or what question? And the scope of this journey was it does help me to position 6 star and becoming 6 star level in my business. So, so what happened? I spent anything else to break my own word. Unfortunately, it was uh, 20 events, 5 working, meditation, affirmation, 5 regression, 250 personal development books, John team process, and team factor, all things, and written down my goals, and I never achieved even for 10 years. So I, at the point of the first experience, me, life slowly came in on me, and my wife one day had 2 children living in Australia at age 42. Is it time for us to divorce? And I realized that of my spending money working 60 hours a week, having side hustle to break out of the job, which didn't make any money, and this constant struggle has come to an end where I'm going to lose my health because my health is deteriorating, my wife and my children. I thought, well, I was running away from my dad, and I did exactly the same experience of an angry person, highly critical of me and others, and I was the father I wanted to be. So pressure has put me into this, well, new decision where no, but I, the last goal of my life is to work at self peace, and given all the goals, I only plan to spend the rest of my life 40 years working out how to feel better about myself, how to feel happy, how to be authentic. Maybe, just maybe, I could somehow create value for others because I have no idea how I didn't feel valuable myself. This work was almost half fell. So I found in 3 to 6 months, and my who helped me to uncover me, the true version of me, the authentic version of me. And when my transformation happened within about 6 to 12 months, pretty much the time frame I'm looking at with other if they are about to look for the better version, I realized that this has the potential to save others 35 years or going through the struggle and losing money, relationships, and those terrible relationships with children and others. And, and I drove bridges before in the ground. I realized this version of me is doing that. And, and the staff, Dr. Stanford came out of that transformation. And ever since that was 6 or 7 years ago, I've been helping others to make one leap, to create new results that they feel they deserve, that they cannot seem to get because there is a glass ceiling or they feel something inhibiting and the word is against them or they're just not feeling that they deserve it or they're good enough. So that's where this 6 star started. When I started to do this work, I realized I have to find a way where people are going through the same experience of spending all that money for things that does not help or won't create that that, I don't think it's fair to pay thousands of dollars to people and tell you that they will get certain results without actually doing some checking questions. Like, I commit, I ready for this type of result that you are telling me. And this is why I decided to give everyone free hour of time to then discuss whether they want this transformation or not. Because I I believe true. I spent over years, and and a lot of things that did not work. Probably was your health, maybe even clear that problem because of working on a certain this gigantic goal which I should achieve. But I put have to do this in an so I that I get help. I will not have like repeating that maybe it's gonna work for me many like and hoping that this might work right and then move on to the next thing. So I'm hoping that apply in this first development industry where I do things I from way. I'm happy to give my money back or give payments back. It never happened before. If if I pick, let's say, the wrong client or someone who is not able to make that transformation that they are looking for around self-worth, confidence, and usually these three areas are pointing to lack of self-worth. It's health, wealth, and relationship. So this TikTok experience really coming out from having, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know what happened, but somehow you got muted. But I can hear you now.
Oh, good man. So yeah, I was saying I wanted to create new experience for people who are not even sure what's holding them back. I wanted to diagnose exactly what the true root they have. And I might have a very quick conversation with someone. Look, I can't help you. Go look for someone else. But to me, it's very high integrity, and also working out what's the outcome that they're looking for. What's the solution? What's that quantum leap? And if we get clarity on these two in these three conversations, then I believe then I'm in a position to to decide whether I can help or not. And if I can, then I will take responsibility for uh, obviously the results, as long as the person is participating in his or her own transformation, of course. Um, this is where
So, um, what made you? What moment or experience led you to decide to dedicate your life to self worth and transformation to become the doctor of self worth?
I
Because
have to
I see you have truly been on a journey.
I realize when I have got my own breakthroughs that the old version of me was gone. I have lost those voices in my head that, oh, why am I here? Why I have to do this work? Why is my life such and such state? Uh, criticizing myself. Uh, I felt whole. I felt more empowered. But most importantly, I say this is the second stage of transformation. I call emotional freedom, or let's say we call it best version of self, where one is experiencing oneself without limitations of the past. Now, this is really exciting. Now, there's more optimism. Now, people start their own projects. It's hard and hard to fit into jobs. where growth may not be supported, and obviously when they are doing their own projects, they may not take things that personally anymore. So not having a reframe around failing, and this automatically, I think that if there is a good soil around, there's a good environment around, it does take people to the third stage, which I think is the most exciting, and probably almost probably 5-10% of the population ever get there. It's I call mission phase, or we could call life purpose. When you're looking back and connecting the dots, you'll be able to tell, ah, this is how I can create value for us. And and with support and help, you'll be able to package it in a way that they want. Whether it's a service, product, it has to do with something that you can do effortlessly. It's almost like your own playground where you set your priorities and you're positioned to be the authority, where they see you as the go-to person. And as long as you're not in competition, I believe competition is red ocean. It is a bloody place where you don't want to be. Professionals create. And I believe when you come from authenticity, you have this massive space in in your life. You get very creative, coincidences start happen, uh, hunches and ideas come, and you'll be able to create products services that are unique, and they'll be able to be seen and heard, and people will want it. And I believe this is the most exciting journey when one is not, well, restricted by the usual rules of life, where you can set your life up on this wonderful place where you live life on your terms. And maybe you're gonna work more. Probably I work more than 40 hours a week, but don't it doesn't feel like work. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, I mean that even just what you just said at the end, when when it don't feel like work. That answers my question right there. When it don't feel like work, I'm all for when it don't feel like work. I tell you, doing all the things that I do, it never feels like work. So for me, that's always a win when you can be doing something even though it looked like work to others, it don't feel like. And that's the most important thing. You dropped some nuggets on today that have truly been amazing. um your journey has been intense. I see you have traveled 70 countries, 5 continents. In your travel, in your journey, is there a profound lesson or any insight that you have gained on your travel that have significantly impacted your approach to self-worth?
Absolutely, I have come up with the idea that reflective travel. It's basically using travel as, as a way to confront my own belief systems, because I found out in many places that things were done in a very different way. For example, the highlands of Tibet, they have sky burial. I mean, probably the last thing that you would want to do when you lose someone, your loved one. They would sort of cut the corpse up and feed it to vultures in a specific ceremony. And I was thinking, wow, this is not how we do it in Central Europe, or not even in Australia. I was having these questions that what if the circumstances have created new sort of customs and new ways of doing things. In South America, I found celebrating that. like that just so far out for me that I had to process it for a few days. And this way, sort of, Africa again is confronted me with what I thought is normal is may not actually be normal at all. That anything is normal as long as one is conditioned to do it. And I asking questions, that who I want to become and what sort of beliefs or habits I should think normal to create the results that I want. Because I was looking back at my own life and my own limitations, especially around money, not having enough time, not having enough money, have to do hard work, have to do hard work to earn money. These were my beliefs. And I was asking myself then, what if someone who was born on this planet is playing it easier? Like, what sort of beliefs or experiences they must have gone through to achieve different results or a different terms to live their life? And I started to realize that self-image, or let's say the beliefs that we collected, especially early on in life, they pretty much define our results for the next decades, and for most people until the end of their lives. They're bounded by those conditions, and it's sometimes mom, dad, or teachers. Those words have such power that they have been hypnotizing these people to believe that, oh, I'm not smart enough, or I don't have a talent to do this, or I'm unlucky, I haven't got enough friends, or I'm not connected well enough. Like those stories, as long as they are running, are killing results to have a better life. And I believe this is where I come into the picture, where fixing, releasing one of these beliefs could absolutely shift one's life. They they could they could certainly show up when they don't want to. They can certainly show up at a negotiation table to have a deal when they are not obligated anymore, or to not repeat the same type of relationships when they feel, well, disrespected or belittled or not seen or heard. Um, I think it's really exciting to understand that I believe beliefs, what we believe about ourselves, what we believe
Mhm.
about the world, our self image, who we think ourselves to be, and the usual emotions, I call them emotional dwelling place, are probably defining 95% of our results. And we can change them. That's the most exciting. Ask me.
So on this journey, um, as a mentor and a coach to numerous business leaders, what has been one or two of the most common challenges related to self worth that you have observed? And how do you typically guide your client through them?
I had a very exciting one with someone in Melbourne. She had a business for about 8 years, and she said, "Well, their sales are not going well." And we had that first conversation, I remember. And what we found, and she was completely unaware of that, she had this labeling judgment towards people, and she, because she had this from mom, she was living almost like, in a fish in an aquarium for most of her life, and she was applying the same thought processes, the same behavior in her business. And of course, when she was driving home back and forth, people were pissing her off on the motorway or on the highway. So, so once we were able to get to the root of this judging others, she started to connect to anyone through the door in her business. And that shifted her results straight away. And she started to make sales. I think she tripled her sales. And most importantly, the new clients that came through the door, they were referred and they left amazing reviews because finally she was able to create rapport and really connect to the person without labeling. Another example was an executive who has been, let's say, he hasn't been able to confront people and create accountability. And he's been doing that for 8 years. So the whole organization, this is a non-profit, Meals on Wheels in Australia, was he brought up these kingdoms within his organization, and they would never look at organization goals or what the business was about. They were doing whatever they wanted, but he was too afraid to have hard conversations and lead as a leader. And when we found out that he had these sort of fears of rejection, fears of confrontation, uh, he released these fears. Now he was able to step into his power and create a brand new organization. There were changes, obviously, because those people did not fit into the organization anymore. But they have basically reset the whole organization to deliver service. Finally, the team on board were all about creating amazing results, and happy client. Meals on Wheels is about delivering wonderful meals uh, to doors for people who are living on their own. And the organization before had the last thing on their mind than the clients or the customers. Um, so that is probably two examples. But going back to Melbourne, she had one more belief that everyone is let's say unreliable to hire people. Imagine a business owner has that belief that there are no quality people to hire. Like she had that belief for 5 to 10 years, and she could not grow because she had no trust in people and people's skills. Now, when we shifted that belief, she was able to build her business to 4 or 5 people. Now, that again quadrupled her income. So, I believe that beliefs and the beliefs that we hold on to are holding us in certain situations or solidifying our results. And sometimes these are results that are suboptimal. And there are two things that's needed to shift results. And this applies to every area of life. Mindset, which is to do with how we feel and what we believe and what our self-image is congruent to. And the other side is obviously strategies. There's a certain way how you can solve problems, and in business or in life. Uh, and you need to apply the things that work. But it's not about massive action, I have to say. And again, I'm a prime example of that because I was a massive action taker. I didn't think twice to go on to $2,000-3,000 weekends where they promise that my life is going to change, or buy another book, or go to another seminar, travel to another country, seek the next spiritual guru to tell me what's wrong with me. So I believe the mindset piece to having uh, self-image corrected if it's necessary, or remove the hold on the future, or when people's life are pretty much controlled by their past. And as long as we can disconnect that, release that, they're back in the present. Now, in the present, there are abundance of opportunities. But if one is blindfolded, I have a demonstration card here. If one is blindfolded, then those opportunities do not mean much. Like, imagine me walking around with these filters on, with these glasses, and I'm wondering why I cannot see clearly the opportunities. Of course not, because I have these beliefs in front of me that I'm unlucky, or I don't deserve it, or I not smart enough, I'm not good enough, or it's just not going to happen to me because I have this or that in my family. Does this help?
No, it does not help. That does help. And I thank you for that. I do have a question that I want to ask you that will probably elaborate a little more on what you were just saying. So for that aspiring entrepreneur, or I call them entrepreneurs for those that may be authors that are and those leaders that are starting this self-worth journey, because we have a lot of individuals that, we're in the new year now, and a lot of individuals are on new journeys, and this was one of their New Year's resolutions, that they wanted to, you know, discover more about themselves, and they wanted to really walk into self-worth. So now they're on this journey. What are three immediate actions that you would encourage them to foster to genuine appreciate themselves and truly honor or harness those leadership skills that they have?
I'm pretty ready, and I have this belief that, imagine a fully empowered mind, but where usually people are in the beginning is this empowerment. Feelings of sadness, feeling hurt, fears, uh, angry. And the problem is, at the beginning, I would say down the bottom of 30%, at the beginning of the journey, I did all the affirmations. I would say, yeah, they, stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself how wonderful you are, how powerful you are. Well, I've been doing that for years. And I started to realize that if they have so much trash going on in their head, or when they try to do all these things, meditation and all the other mind hacks, and there is just this inner resistance, then I want to give you a shortcut. And the shortcut is this: you need to dig yourself out of most or some of those limitations to have some empowerment from the inside. Now, I say, to make it very simple, so you cannot complicate your journey out of lack of self-worth. Look for someone who has an inspiring story, who had lack of self-worth, who has transformed himself or herself, and has achieved something like you want. Then ask yourself, is this person able to help others or not? Because you want to look for outside help. Because I don't want you to spend 5, 10 years on trying to defeat these inner insecurities and patterns, because I think time is the only limited resource here, the only limitation on earth. And unfortunately, I've lost 3 decades, and and when I had a conversation with someone and he confronted me, oh, I had so much clarity. But then, if you go back to this very simple logic, then look for someone who has done the transformation that you are looking for and who has been helping others with consistent results. Don't complicate it anymore. And then check them out. I don't know if they have something free. Maybe have a conversation with their team. It doesn't need to be me. And make sure that they actually care about you. But I say if there are too many 5-star testimonials and results and reviews, you are at the right place. Then all you need to do is commit to that process and do every single thing they tell you. And you know what the worst case scenario is? Maybe, just maybe, it does not work. Then look for someone else who has done it. But this is why I decided to guarantee results. So it is made no-brainer. And I think if you look for someone who has done the work, who cares about you, they have no problem working with you as long as you make that leap or make that transformation. Then hopefully there are others out there. And at least then you're not wasting your time and money. Because these two are a big problem. I couldn't actually buy a home because I was investing into things that didn't work. And I want to save you time and money.
Wow. So, with that being said, how do you foresee the future of leadership and self worth evolving, and what role do you hope to play in that transformation?
There is one more thing I wanted to share. I just realized. I believe the tip, if you want to seek your best version, is put yourself into an environment where there is, for example, the 6-star business community, 6-star leaders. We are rebranded, but you can find them on LinkedIn easily. 6-star leaders. So you want to spend time and dedicate. It might even cost you money. Put yourself into the environment where you belong, where your future belongs. And I believe with these two, have someone to cover your mindset, to point out those blind spots that you're not seeing. And with having the right environment, I believe my work as well is to create this awareness that change does not need to take decades. Change is necessary for in a lot of people's lives. And please use the specialist so you're not going in circles. Because see, and this is probably the biggest takeaway I realized at one point. Life is a big coaching session, and the pressure will increase. Your life will be crushed. You have well relationships. These are the usual symptoms. You don't get it if you don't let the past go. It will still control you, and you'll be more and more open to ask for help. And with that pressure, you'll be able to ask for help at the right place. Because if I'm looking back at my old self and I was not committed, probably that's the third one, is having a very high level of commitment to change, high level to adopt whatever is the mentor or coach telling you. Then with that commitment, the mind loves to go back to its old condition and old results. And what that creates is then even more pain So then eventually you will find true health and you wouldn't have a problem investing time, effort, focus, and money into the next version of you. And yes, it's self-worth, self-image work. It's probably getting your focus right and letting go of whatever story is playing out in from the past.
And how can individuals get your book?
How to get hold of my book? I've got a book called How to Discover Your Authentic Self Faster Than You Ever Thought Possible. And I'm gladly giving it away for free. My method, it's on my website, drselfworth.com. If you search the tab free, you will be able to download it and access it. What I have found is the usual patterns of thinking is is keeping people in going in circles, and that was me too. Why? Because the mind has this tendency to not go to the dis not go into discomfort, the place where it gets triggered. Now, what does that mean? Because this was a massive learning for me. Reading books, 200 books for me, probably I had the answers I needed. But guess what happened? I was using the five senses and this mind, my disempowered mind, to apply what was quote unquote comfortable from the books. So I did not truly break through my own limitations because I was doing tiny fix and changes. But that's not what you're really looking for. And that could be the case with sometimes seminars or other tools of personal development where you tend to do what's comfortable and what's safe. And if you want to have a conversation with me, probably you want to have conversations that you don't want to have, to go to the place that you avoid, because that's where the magic happens. And have that space to be honest that, oops, I've been avoiding mom or dad. I could not connect with them. I can't stand their criticism. I'm still carrying those voices. I'm now turning those voices against me. I remember I had this wonderful conversation with a business owner once, and he had problems with the bottom line. He was not making money. And we started to work on the relationship with his dad. And he started to
Hmm.
connect with his dad. Remember, receiving and giving love is a lot to do with abundance and receiving money. And I remember in a few weeks after, he had tens of thousands of dollars showed up in contracts, in new clients. All we did was fixing the dysfunctional relationship with that, to really be present and thrive on his own way. Truly magical.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I tell you, I have truly been blessed on today. I thank you for coming and sharing your morning with me, maybe your afternoon, depending on where you may be tuning in from. I tell you, I have truly been blessed on today. These nuggets that you dropped to help someone to truly understand self worth and how to journey on this self worth. If you would, do you have any workshops or anything that's coming up that individuals may connect to and really dive into understanding their self-worth so that they won't go into 2026 wondering anymore. So do you have any workshops or anything coming up that we can connect to?
I'm I've got two or three summits coming up where I will show up. Um, I the Sixth Sense Summit. I can, if you want, I will. We will drop the links under this episode. Uh, the Sixth Sense Summit is it's a west coast of the US, coming up in a week. Um, I'm also coming up on one about creating sales and sales growth, growing businesses through sales. I haven't got a workshop coming up, but I created an educational channel, and it's at Doctor of Self Worth on YouTube. And I also created a email community, which is about boosting your self worth to build you from the inside. So so you'll be able to stand firm and reclaim your power and the results that you want. So on my website you can sign up as well. And I was looking at a workshop in March about finding out the true problem that you may have and how to shift that. But if you want to reach out to me, I I'll I would let you know the date when that's coming up. If that makes a difference for you, because I really love. I might just show my shirt. I'm always walking around in these shirts because you you deserve a bigger game to really shift results, right
Show
rapidly.
it again. I want to show it bigger. Show it again. Stand up again.
No worries. You can take a photo if you want to. So yeah, I work with groups as well. You can reach out to me, and I see a group every 2 weeks where it's quite affordable to get to see me, and the start work through on your challenges. And I think if you keep showing up, that tells me that you want something, and that pretty much is the message to me. Hey, here's the person I need to help, and I have free resources. I have cheap resources, and also I love spending 1 hour with you and see which one fits you the best at this time, at this stage of life. Because I know we have all circumstances, we have a lot going on, but just use social media. That's my message to you. Use social media to serve you, to serve your best interest. Because what I'm saying is, if you are being selective, and I know how easy it is to scroll, there's so many things going on. Be very selective who you are listening to, and look for someone who inspires you, who is embodying those qualities that you're looking for, and maybe they even have those results. Because as I said, ideally you want to be physically in an environment where people are creating the results that you want. We could call this networking group or a mastermind, which I have, or at least through social media, stay within the circles that are uplifting you, and is not creating these self-criticism circuits in your head.
That's it. Well, thank you for stopping by again because you definitely have dropped some nuggets. You dropped some information. You shared with us how we can stay connected so they have that information. Anytime you have anything going on or you want to come back by and share with us again, you're more than welcome to come by and share with us. We're always here because we want to motivate. We want people to be educated, empowered, and encouraged. And being able to do that, you have to know your self worth. So definitely thank you again for stopping by and pouring into us on this Monday. I truly have been blessed on today. Anything you would like to say before we leave to empower the people for the week?
I'm thinking I want to give away a workshop for your community. If there are people interested, um, we can create a 1.5 hour workshop. I'll do this for free out of gratitude. You have a wonderful platform, and I want to promote you. And if there are people interested, I'm happy to jump on Zoom and uh, and start to demonstrate some of those transformations that I create. Because I don't think it's fair to hold this back from people. I don't think it's right. Uh, if you see uh, that there is interest, then we can create a time that works for you and for your community. Then can show up every quarter or every 6 months if you feel that it's help, it's the right type of help, and 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 it's wanted. And remember, just really believe that change is possible for you. That was a big one for me. I couldn't believe it for 30 years. So if you need to do whatever it takes to start to own that belief, and if you need help, get someone who is good at changing beliefs, because that's the first one you need to have, that belief that change is possible and the change is possible for you, dear listener. Thanks very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for stopping by again. I appreciate you and I look forward to seeing you soon. Again, I want to thank everyone that stopped by today to share with us. I hope you have taken some of those nuggets that he dropped on today because he dropped some nuggets. I hope you took down how you can get in contact with him, how you can follow, how you can go and join some of those groups because he dropped some nuggets that can help you truly understand your self worth. So, y'all, stay connected, stay connected, stay connected, and know who you are. Know your self worth. Know your power that's on the inside of you. Know that you are positioned to be an overcomer because you are a willing vessel to be educated, empowered, and encouraged through your resilience. You didn't get dropped out of the sky. You were strategically placed here. So know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you take some of these nuggets and and use them in your life. Put them in your life. Let them come forth. Speak them over your life. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm encouraged. If you're not encouraged, I'm encouraged for you. So go and take some of these nuggets and speak them over your life. I love y'all. See y'all next Monday.